power. Does that make any sense, or does that have any questions around that?
I think I got it. That scares me.
So, for example, in Hawaii is a great example because I'm a minority. Statistically, there are fewer white people on my island that I live on than there are people of other cultures. There's more Hawaiians, more Filipinos, more Japanese, more Chinese. There's more non-white, or what we would call target people, than there are. And so I'm often called a fucking haole. And haole is a negative word, and it's like means a person without breath, or a person who doesn't have spirit. And so that is backlash, because even though I am the person who's receiving the bad behavior, I still have greater access statistically to resources, power, and status.
Where you live?
Even where I live.
Wow.
It's one of the United States. And so the laws and the structures and all of that benefit me because I had access to resources because of my parents at a very early age. It's a systemic thing. It's a structural piece I have access to. I mean, when a person, like a local, let's say a Hawaiian person who wants sovereignty and then believes in the sovereign kingdom, it's almost like a Native American who didn't get their ancestral lands, looks at me as I've stolen their land. I'm like, well, I didn't steal your land personally, but the truth is, I'm actually, my house is built probably on lands that belong to his ancestors. So I have to look at it from that point of view and understand, yeah, he's going to be emotionally upset, he's going to react, and there's going to be backlash. But I'm still the owning guy. I'm the one that has it. So that's a good example.
Question: how do you deal with you're non-targeting in some areas, but you're targeting in other areas?
Yeah, that's great. So there are some things up here where later on we're gonna because each of us might be able to say, yeah, I'm a target person in this particularism and that particularism, and we'll go through that. So yeah, there's definitely very few people in the world don't have at least one ism where they are oppressed.
So just a quick clarifier on the backlash.
Yeah.
So in this model, kind of inappropriate for me as a male to say women are sexist against males. That, backlash is a more appropriate term to describe that.
Correct.
There's not racism against white men.
Right. So
that's backlash.
correct. So,
That's
and an example for the women thing would be, so women earn 70% or 78% of what men earn. So statistically, they actually have less access to resources, for the same jobs.
But that's not even true, because they have husbands and they've got an enormous amount of power. So I mean, you've got this model that doesn't really take into account how they are supported by men in this culture.
It's an example, and it may be true sometimes. I think we're trying to do there's a puzzle here, which definitely is different for me than you.
Yeah.
And if you're lost, this is one type of puzzle that might work for you, and it might not, and that's
Right.
that's
And that
that's
judgment,
all.
and yeah,
that's
there
it.
are elements that women do have power in areas that men do not.
So,
And our world, the North American, especially the United States, is really built on white male power. It has been built statistically. If you were to look to see the average demographic, and you look at the amount of, if you measured power as a financial resource, earning ability, education, there's a lot of ways to measure it. Then you'll see that is a straight white male that has it is the least targeted, the most non-target person, and most of NKP is made up of that demographic, which is why we look at this model. It's not a perfect model, and your judgments and perceptions that differ from this model are welcome. Let's just try this on to understand.
more of the try it on. If there's one or two, that's all that fit. Just go with that.
Yeah.
Just ignore the rest. That's what I mean, if I don't get it, I don't understand it, I disagree. Okay. Wait. Okay, that one I got.
Yeah, Jerry.
Question about why Mankind Project adopted this specific.
Yeah, it was this company as a consultant for major corporations, the government. So this was at the time this was selected, I think about 10 or 12 years ago. This particular model was the most active. Is it the perfect? No. Can it be improved? Yes. And I've even made a change or two up there just because of things have changed culturally as we understand in the U.S.
This is an opinion. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
To me, it embodies a Marxist view of the world, which is it's all about power of people over people, but it doesn't look at other types of powers. It's looking at one type of power.
Yeah.
And it doesn't consider things like moral power, spiritual power, cultural, ethnic, artistic power, and things like that. I guess what I'm saying is this is a totally atheistic model. It does not have, to me, it does not have any reference to a transcendent reality or transcendent function in the world.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I guess I feel a lot of resentment.
And Jerry, it's not uncommon. That's why we handle this topic with kid gloves and we review this, and that's why how you're feeling is totally welcome here, and it's a learning piece for each of us. So thank you for sharing your truth.
I wouldn't have noticed that.
Sorry, I think there's a statistic that women have more wealth in this country than men do. So if they make only 70% of what men do, but they have more wealth than men do, how are they oppressed? I mean, it's just you pick.
I'm not using yet. The oppression means that it's resources, power, and status. So essentially, if you were to identify in the corporate world how many Fortune 500 CEOs are women, I mean, it's a very low number. So that's just a simple example of it in this model.
And sexism's only can you look at all the other isms?
Yes. So we are going to look at this through the lens of racism because it's like kind of the most present thing that's happening in the nation right now. And again, it's a try-on. So let's go to talking about unearned privilege. She wants to